Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. We got an episode of Tailgate Talk with today, and we got special guest Ducky, PFN community legend. You want to say a few things about yourself? Give yourself an introduction.
Sure. I mean, I think a lot of people might know who I am already, and if they don't, then they're probably lucky. But pretty active in the UFL community, but most recent. That's a horrible way to start this. Slapping my mic,
slapping around.
But yeah. I mean, I'm ready. I'm ready for the season. I'm ready to start talking some crap.
Yeah. And for many of you that don't know, Ducky doesn't have just like a specific team. Every season, it seems like.
Whoa. I've always been a Memphis fan. Been a Memphis fan my entire life.
Until Ohio gets a team.
I mean, I don't know. It just depends. It depends on where people are going. I'm a Jaron Horton guy and a Boogie Roberts guy. I mean, I'm wearing the Boogie hoodie.
Those are some good reasons to be a fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan of both of those guys for sure. And
that's why I could not root for Memphis this year. It's the team to root for. There's no one better.
I would beg to differ, but
I am rooting for them. I hope they do well. And I mean, we've been talking about it the whole lead up to the season. I do foresee them doing well, at least better than last season.
Yeah. we're kind of calling them the Memphis Maulers.
That's exactly what they are. Jared made a post about that on Twitter. I was excited to see that. They were all in his office right there. It was pretty cool to see. But yeah. I mean, 2-8 last year. It's always nice to root for an underdog.
Yeah, there's plenty of room for improvement. They're going to kind of be like the sleeper team like Michigan was last year, is what I'm kind of hearing. A lot of people didn't feel like Michigan was going to do as good as they did last year. And they came out went on a 5-game winning streak.
Yeah. They had 4 losses at home, back to back to back to back? Or 4 losses in a row, not at home.
Who?
Was it?
Us? Last year?
Yeah.
No, we only lost. We went 7-3.
Oh,
yeah, we didn't have 4 losses.
Yeah, we lost all 3 games to the Stallions. That might be the.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
2 to the Stallions and 1 to the Brahmas.
Yeah, that's what it was. Dang. So only 4 losses total?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And 3 of them were for one team. That's crazy.
Well, including the USFL championship.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Where was I at? I wasn't paying attention to that, I guess.
You were just
last year I was in limbo. Yeah, last year I was in limbo. I just didn't have nobody to root for. But now I'm all in on Memphis. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you got your guys back. You got Jaron and Boogie, and I know you kind of feel some type of way that Jaron got passed up for the interim head coach position.
Oh, dude.
And I'm kind of on your side with that.
Yeah, I just think he's definitely ready for the head coaching job for any team, really. I think and what better team than the Memphis Showboats whenever he's already gotten all his guys there and everything like that. He's very good at defense, and I feel like once you're so good at defense, you understand the offense. Like you understand when to call plays, stuff like that. I don't think he would have been a bad head coach at all, but league executives say otherwise. So we got to trust them, trust they know what they're doing, and hopefully that works out for Memphis. I think it will. I think they're determined to prove people wrong, especially Jaron.
Right. Well, with expansion talk for next year and the talk about Reggie Barlow stealing a lot of his coaching staff for next season, that might open up some doors for Jaron to get that head coaching position or opportunity.
I think next year, because there'll be one in Memphis, there'll be one in DC, and if they do expand like they're talking, I would assume 2. That's 4 chances, and if they don't give one to Jaron, I think they're completely wrong for that because he's definitely a guy you want, a young guy which is pretty much what this league's entirely about, is getting the young guy up there, getting him the opportunity.
And like he's grown up around football. His dad was a coach for the Steelers, correct?
Yep, his dad was a coach for the Steelers. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, once as a player with the Cowboys, and then I think twice with the Steelers. And then he played for the Washington Huskies. He was very good with the Huskies. I think he's in the Huskies Hall of Fame. Don't quote me on that one, but Ray he's a pretty well known guy. So yeah, Aaron's been around football almost his entire life.
Yeah, I heard on the interview you guys did with him, he was talking about like being on the sidelines with the coach. I think it was it Coach Wisenhunt that he met like way back. I can't remember the exact details, but yeah, so he's ingrained in it really, and especially with this team having the connections, especially with those players. Like, I mean, you talk about it. You were just saying they were all in his office. They're all just hanging out in there and just probably happy to be with him. So,
he's a guy of culture. He understands the football culture.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a good guy to be around. I've only met him a handful of times in person, but just from seeing what I see online, what the other players say about him, when I talk to the other players about him, I've never heard anything bad about him in terms of his ability to coach and stuff like that. And in terms of him just being a good guy, I've never heard anything bad about him.
Absolutely. So, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with him. I said that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask if you knew anything about is it Jim Turner. I made a mistake earlier. I said Timmy Turner.
No, I don't know much about Jim, but he's had a couple stints in the NFL. I think he's done a few things there, but I don't think he's ever done any professional play calling. Nothing against him. I'm not out here to spew hate on Jim or anything, but
right.
I think Jaron was a better candidate. But I'm sure, like I said earlier, there's a reason why the league's doing that, and I'm sure they hope they're making the right choice. They wouldn't ever steer anybody down the wrong path to do ill will, but I just think.
And they're running like a dual play call system. They have two people calling the plays, I thought.
Yep. Jim will be calling the plays as head coach for the offense, and then also I forget his name now, the new OC who will be the offense coordinator. He'll be also calling the plays, and Jim will be helping him and stuff. So they'll be co-coordinator and head coach type thing.
Jim Manos.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that they pretty much just like they're keeping Wisenhunt's playbook. They just kind of dumbed it down a little bit, simplified it. We won't say dumb it down, but simplified it to make play calling easier for these guys.
Yep. So I'm sure early on you'll see a little bit of slower pace stuff probably, but I'm sure once they get used to it or later on in the season, maybe they'll open it up a little bit, try some more stuff depending on where they're at in the season, stuff like that. But I don't know. I've always heard two heads are better than one, so maybe that'll work out here.
And we've talked about it on the show quite a few times with Michigan having so many, like the whole coaching staff returning and so many players returning, and how like in week 1 that put them in like chapter 2 and 3 of the playbook versus everybody having to learn the terminology, with them losing the head coach and kind of dumbing down the playbook a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't cause too much of a hurdle for Memphis this season, or at least the beginning of the season.
That is a big thing. The consistency. It's why, honestly, it's what I say helped the Stallions so much to be back to back. The original or the back to back to back, the three-peat is because whenever the leagues merged and everything, all the talent kind of gets consolidated, because you went from 16 to 8. But the Stallions, they were just pretty consistent in all their players. They kept most of their guys, stuff like that, and just because those guys have been together for 3 years now, I think is the reason why they did so well. Because consistency, knowing the lingo of all your playbook, stuff like that, that's honestly a big part of the game. When you get new guys in, like how we have 2 new OCs and a lot of new players, it's going to be a big learning curve for all of them.
Right, and a super short training camp. Like, what is it? Only like 28 days long, if that.
Yeah.
So and you got to make cuts in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just.
And what I'm thinking about is that like you were saying, Lauren, the short training camp, everything leading up, and then you got to get this playbook in. And then are we assuming that EJ Perry is starting? Because like that's
Look
a
at that
short,
smile at Ducky.
that's a short turnaround. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot to put on him. Is that maybe possibly why they're leaning towards a smaller playbook that they can expand throughout the season?
I personally, for me, I think EJ might be starting. I would start Troy Williams just because I'm a big Troy Williams guy. I think he's he did the entire season with the Maulers. He's played in the championship game. He knows what it takes to be playing in these big games, especially a season opener against Michigan. He's already played Michigan. He's played their defense before. It's going to be similar. He kind of knows what to expect, especially with what's going on now. I think you're better off putting the more experienced quarterback in spring football in the starting position. But I don't know. EJ's a good guy. Obviously, he's from Michigan, the Panthers, so maybe he has a little bit of knowledge inside there on how to take Michigan down. Hopefully.
Yeah, I seen that interview that Mike Nolan had over the weekend with one of the local news places up here. He said that that in the conference championship game last year, he pretty much he took the rap for it. He said, we came out and tried to, keep that same pace when we could have, slowed down and controlled the clock a little bit better and just possessed the ball a little bit better. And that was probably on bad play calling. I mean, he just chalked it up to. So that's kind of cool to see the coach owning up to that.
Yep, taking responsibility. Yeah, It's also the Stallions. They are the team to beat, no matter what. Like I said this on ATU yesterday or Monday, and I said the Stallions have never lost except for one time, pre-playoff clinch. So like anytime before the playoffs, before they've clinched the playoffs, they've never lost except for one time against the Breakers, week 4, 2023. That's the only time, and every other loss after that was after they've clinched the playoffs. They're resting guys, stuff like that. So they're the most dominant team to beat right now, at least.
That is a wild, very dominant stat, especially to keep that going multiple seasons and across multiple renditions of a spring football. That's
because people are like, oh, they've only got 4 losses, but like on top of that, there are a lot of post-clinch losses. So nobody really, I don't want to say they don't care about those games, but they don't matter much to them. They've clinched the playoffs,
especially on the field.
Yep.
With such a short season, if you can rest your players after you've already made it to the playoffs, why not? You know what I'm saying? It's not going to hurt you now, besides for that record.
Yep.
That's kind of like what happened last year when San Antonio beat them, right? Is they were resting players. It was after they clinched the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So they weren't playing
clinched early on. Yeah, because the USFL conference, they were clinched by what, week 6?
I think 7? I think Birmingham had it weeks. It might have been 5 or 6.
Yeah,
and then Michigan had it at 6 or 7.
Yeah,
like so the USFL was locked up pretty quick last year.
Yep, I expect the USFL conference to probably be a little bit more competitive this year. Hopefully, it's a week 8, week 9 type thing. It'd be great if both conferences were decided in week 10 just for the hype of the playoffs, but I expect it to be more combative this year. XFL side, I think you're going to see 2 different teams this year in the playoffs. I don't think you're going to see the same 2 teams.
Hey, look, got somebody that joined in.
Uh-oh.
Throw up the captain. Thanks for joining us, Bill.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
How you doing?
Well, welcome.
You want to give everybody just a quick background and introduction on yourself?
Yeah, I'm with the yacht club. I started the yacht club a few years ago. It's been a lot of fun. We have a great time. Trying to get a coach. If y'all know one, let me know. We'll get a coach in here. But we're having a blast. It's a lot of fun. We raise a lot of money for different charities. Last year was our best thing was before and after the games. So But we have a lot of fun doing it. We have a lot of great members, the Boatman, Elvis. We have a lot of people who've come out and really just been fanatics about UFL, USFL, and showboat football. We were all from the kids from the 80s, and we remember the glory days, and it was a labor of love here. Our colors have changed, but we enjoy coming to the games and enjoy what we're doing for sure. And I see another captain's hat there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I actually got this in Tennessee when
Oh,
I was
really?
in. I was at the Titanic Museum.
In Dollywood
in
or Pigeon
yep,
Forge.
yep, and I got
Awesome.
it there. So, yep, I figured I'd put it on for the episode.
Well, you know, we need all the help we get. Can you play call? That's what we want to know. If you can call plays,
No, don't think you want that from me.
come on over.
Yeah. I got a question for you though. Do you like the blue and yellow, or do you like the red and silver?
You know, the blue and yellow growing on us. It was kind of a shock to start with.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, if you ask anybody, they'd rather be silver and red. That was I mean, you can still go in any bar in Memphis and there's a showboat helmet from the 80s. There's a poster, there's a this, there's a that, there's a ball. It was really a culture shock to kind of change that. But, you know, the Grizzlies with this kind of color, it works okay. It's grown on us a lot. It's not terrible. We've enjoyed what they've done. They have some great PR people here with us. We have a great group that works really hard. So, you know, we can get past that. Would we like to have a throwback game every year to show it? Yeah, absolutely. And we're having one. Hopefully they'll don the scarlet and red and do that. But we'll see.
Yep, that would be cool. For the blue and yellow thing for me, being an Ohio State fan, it's hard. It's going to be hard for me to wear Memphis colors. I think I'm just going to stick to maybe just white.
See, that's
it was. We at first no one liked it at all, and then you see the colors and you see what they're trying to do, and you know, would it need an update? Probably need an update from the paddle wheel to something. But those colors were so great, and when you had Reggie White and that type of Hall of Fame background, it's hard because I'm telling you, I mean, it was 50,000 people at every game. It was something when they were here. We hated to lose it. We hated for it to go away. I think if they'd have done a long-term spring thing, we'd still be playing spring football, or they'd have been in the NFL now to begin with. I think they would have taken maybe 5 or 6 teams and put them together if we just kept doing what we were doing, we're being successful at.
Oh yeah. Yep. After that long, I'm sure it doesn't. You're like red and silver, blue and yellow. I don't care what color. Just give me some football at this point.
I mean, we enjoy it a lot. You know, at this level of football, there's not a lot of stress on you winning and losing. It's enjoying going. We enjoy football, so we don't. I mean, we love it. In the South, it's like a religion. So in Memphis, it's basketball and football. Basketball may come first because every person between the ages of 6 and 20 plays it, no matter where it is. But football in the South is a huge deal. It is a huge. What's really neat here and for this is you have Tennessee, Arkansas, Alabama, Memphis, all these different fans that can come together for one different team, and that's really unique and fun to have. And a lot of our tailgate people will support Tennessee during the fall and Memphis during the fall or Arkansas during the fall, but during the spring they're supporting this. It's just been one of those things. When you had the AAF here, it was a rough go. I'm sure it was a rough go for everybody, every city that had that. And it took a little bit of time to get past that for a lot of people. But we enjoy what we're doing here. We love the tailgates. We love doing all we do. We love all the coaches have been great. Coach Wisenhunt was great. I mean, we talked to him last week. So there's a lot of things that hopefully for him will work out. And we pray that he gets better or whatever his situation is, works out. And, we'll just we have some young people here that we really like. Coach Horton he is perfect for Memphis. There can't be a more perfect person for our city and the way we do things and the grit and grind that is here than him. He talks it. He looks it. He's the whole part that for Memphis would be great. Coach Turner, I believe, will be the point person, but I think the younger guys are going to take over and just from what I've been told, throw it to the wind and see what happens. And that's all you can do right now. I mean, there's nothing else. Ken did it all. So when you lose that, you've got a little bit of change coming.
Yep. It'll be a big leap of faith for the coaching staff, I think. But
to say the least.
Yeah.
We're going to share our first down with a lot of abandon. So
Yeah. Oh,
We may only get 1 or 2, so who knows?
Yep.
Yeah, we were just talking about Coach Horton before he came on, and I mean Ducky was singing his praises as well. I think everybody, from the Maulers to him coming here and just the way that he's approached it, I think that he fits well. I mean, Loren agrees. Everybody really kind of assumed he was going to be fill into that position, and
I was shocked. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah, we had a lot of talk here whether he would be the head coach to begin with. We were kind of hoping that would be the direction it would go to. Then you get Ken, who's an NFL coach, and you're like, okay. And we talked to Ken. He's been here 4 or 5 different times at events, and him and his wife have been fantastic. So we were all on board with that, and it was going the right direction. And talking to people at camp, that things were looking really good, and they liked a lot what they had. But situations in life change. I mean, you can't fault somebody if they have to go out for this reason or that reason. And it's not our job to figure out what that is. It's if he needs to leave absence and it's for his family or for him, that's what he has to do. We're all on board with that, and we'll move on. And no one wants that to happen. I'm sure DC feels the same way, but he bettered himself with a coaching job that has a lot of stability and a lot of time and money.
Yes.
And that's just that's life. And all of our jobs change and all of our outlooks change, and we just have to continue moving forward. For us, we're going to have our tailgates and our fun and raise money for St. Jude no matter what happens. And that's kind of where we all are. Our yacht club, we have a big group that chalks every night. And that was our thing is, look, we're doing what we're doing no matter what happens. And all the families of the players come out and spend time with us after the games. The players come out. It's a great thing, and we enjoy doing it. But you can't really fault someone if they have to leave in a spur of the moment. I'm sure for Ken it wasn't a good timing either. I know for the league it wasn't, but it is what it is.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he doesn't make whatever is going on. I'm sure on his end he's not making that decision lightly either. He's not doesn't want to leave these guys high and dry.
Yeah, after you're with some guys for 4 or 5 weeks and they give you blood, sweat, and tears, I'm sure it was a hard decision to make.
Yes.
But, I mean, DC's in the same boat we're in. People say, is it a bigger problem than it looks? Look, Stoops is a Hall of Fame coach, and he's still there. So is, Phillips. They're Hall of Fame coaches, and they're still doing what they're doing. I think it is just a coincidence and timing. And I've talked to a lot of people about it, and I think that's just kind of what it is. It doesn't make the league look great. It's hard on selling tickets and getting people to walk up when you hear negative things the week of the games, but we're going to continue doing what we're doing.
Yeah, you got to keep moving forward and face adversity no matter what. Like we said, if it's personal, family, whatever he had to step away for, there was a good reason for it. So, everybody should just support that and just get behind the team and hope for the best, like you said.
Yeah, that's all you can do. I mean, look, this is a fledgling league. I know kind of where they are money-wise, and they're not making a lot of money. They're putting a lot of money up. This is not something that's real easy. It's not like basketball where you can have 8 or 9 players. You got to have a lot of players, a lot of insurance, a lot of everything. And I think long-term this can really work because when we were big with the USFL, of course, with Fox, and the way they started their whole program and outlook was it was content for them. It was content on a daily basis or a weekly basis they could use to draw ears and sell advertising, and it worked very well for them. Now it's a merger of 2 groups that have kind of a same philosophy now. So it's just going to take time to iron it out. It will work if we can get it stabilized. I know in Memphis we want our team to be here all the time. They were the first year, and then they have not been the next 2 years. And it's kind of hard on, we have a coaches show, we have cheerleaders, we have a mascot, we have a lot of things we do. We have a radio show, a radio broadcast, different things than some of the other teams have, and not having them here makes that a lot harder to be able to do. But growth year over year, if they start getting that, and I think we have good people. I know our GM's great. We've talked with him a lot. He is a fantastic guy from the Bills. But it just is going to take time. And if anybody thinks this is something you can do overnight and it's going to be successful with as many moving parts as they have, it's just not happening.
Yeah, It's crazy. Just the players alone, that's 400 different bodies
Yeah.
you have to worry about. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
and it's
saying?
not like
For
college.
housing,
These are
pay, field time,
Yep.
travel, just the logistics of everything and getting, and I see on videos they have food out for these guys and drinks and everything like that. It's just and scheduling the weight room and the different fields and everything like that. It's just it takes an army to do what
yeah.
they're doing, and you just can't
Logistically,
do this
it's hard to
overnight.
do. This is a, I mean, and these are also professional players. They're not college players. They all have their want to get back. And to us, the greatest thing about this is seeing those guys trying to get back and talking with their families about how hard they work at it. We don't see any of the stuff they go through and the sacrifices they're all making to even be here,
Mm-hmm.
putting their lives on hold, their whatever jobs they have on hold, trying to chase a dream again. And that's, if we focus on that part and sell that part, that's what makes it special. Is those guys are giving us everything they got, day in, day out, and as fans, we see wins and losses. It's really kind of all we see, and we judge everything on that, and that's part of it. But the rest of it, you don't see them going to St. Jude. You don't see them doing stuff with schools in Arlington. Those are the things that really this league needs to really promote more. I know it's like a fire hose for those guys trying to promote all of it at once because it's so many different things going on, and you have to put out these fires like they had the last few days to get back to selling tickets. And the games are this week, and people forget about that the last couple of days. We've been concentrating on, okay, we don't have a play caller, so what do we do? So hopefully all that will iron out, and we'll have actually football Friday and a few days to do that, and then talk about the X's and O's parts. And that's what I want to get to. I'm really wanting to get to that part and forget the rest of it.
Right. Well, speaking of that, we have a game coming up. So
Yeah.
March 30th,
Yeah. Let's see, we have
Panthers at Showboats.
not these Panthers, but we have
They're still
The
pretty
ones
bad.
that can actually make a playoff game.
Oh.
I mean, they won the '83 championship.
Mhm.
Look, they were what they turned into the Oakland Invaders after that, and the Invaders went to the championship and lost. But they were some great football back in the '80s. It was, I can remember the Pontiac Silverdome was packed out. It was crazy.
Yeah, I've heard the story about them ripping down the field goal post.
Yeah, weren't you guys alive during that time?
No,
No.
I don't think any of you.
I've
What am I?
I've
I'm talking
watched
Greek
a
to you
few.
then.
I remember. I think it was last year sometime. People were talking about St. Louis hitting, 30,000, and people were saying, "Oh, this is a record for spring football." And I was just
Yeah.
underneath of those, and I'm like, "It's not a record. It's actually not even half of the record, because I think the record is the Jacksonville Bulls,
Yeah,
and I think it was
76,000.
yep,
Yeah,
76,000. So
we
Holy
sold out the
smokes.
last game in Memphis when we played the Stallions at like 61,000.
yep.
But I know in Jacksonville and in Michigan they had over 60 and 70 a few games.
Yep.
It was an incredible experience. I mean, I was sitting there as a ball boy watching Doug Flutie, Herschel Walker play the Showboats, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Back then we all thought it was really NFL football. It was that good.
Yeah. Oh, it was though, because those guys went on to the NFL and
Yeah,
are
dominated.
arguably they're all Hall of Famers and stuff like that. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's just to be alive back then.
I know, man.
I was there.
Yeah.
All we
I
have
had
is
six-
footage, and it's even still like that was. I wish I was there, because you hear about, like Loren was saying, them ripping down the goalposts. You hear the stories every time I bring it up around anybody. And we just gotta wait. Hopefully, I hope no ill will on Ford Field, but we need to get some of that energy back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
for sure.
There was some great PR. The guys we had with the Showboats that did that way back when, they drafted cheerleaders. I mean, it was an incredible experience. There was something every week going on with that. It was an incredible time to be at games. But when you have Reggie White, I mean, it was a show in itself to watch him be triple teamed at that level and just demolish people.
Yep.
We had Sam Clancy, Reggie White, Don Bessalou, Walter Lewis. I mean, these are all NFL players that went on to have great careers. And you had Jim Kelly, you had just on and on. You know, Steve, it was something to watch. In this level of football, we have to really look at it as, and why I enjoy it so much is these guys trying to get back to that level. You know, if it wasn't for the USFL, there wouldn't be an All-Pro kicker for the Cowboys or an All-Pro returner for the Cowboys. Those guys would have never had the opportunity to get back at that level if it hadn't been for the USFL in 22. And they're both All-Pros, and that's something that, you know, it's the little things like that, the start, that really get to, you know, to why this is important and what it really means to these guys. But the game this week, if you're going to ask me what I expect, I know after talking with Coach Horton, he really likes his defense. I think they're going to be really, really good. But, you know, how long can a defense hold on with an offense that may not be able to be up to speed yet? It's going to be hard to decide when, you know, Michigan should be, you know, with the last couple of years and the coaching staff still being there, they should be really good. I had them my second team in the league behind, of course, the Ponies. But yeah. I think Michigan will be really good this year.
You got a score prediction?
Yeah, I talked to somebody yesterday. We were talking about it. Scores are so hard. I mean, really, you know, when we started last year with this, I thought, you know, look, we got Cookus. We got all these running backs that were great in the USFL, all these – we had an all-pro USFL team, and just fell apart on it. And it just didn't work. It didn't mesh. It wasn't anything. So how do you know what you have until we get a couple weeks in? I don't know. I was telling somebody it would probably be like 27-13, something like that, where it's close. And then the defense can't hold up. There's just not enough bodies maybe. That may kind of be where it is. I know Perry's going to play really hard. He's got a point to prove to Michigan, I think. But, you know, is he calling the plays? I mean, you know, who's actually doing that? Because Joe Turner, I don't believe, will be calling the plays. It'll be the young guys doing it.
Yeah, I think they're co-calling the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which, you know, you don't have a lot of time in this league to call plays. It's really, really, really quick. I think with Coach Flip last year, who's a real good friend of mine, I loved him. He was great for our group here. But that was one of his things. It's so fast and so hard to call plays. That's one of the issues you have. But I think, you know, 27-13, 27-10, somewhere in there. But until we see what we have and we all look at what everybody has in person, last year on paper I thought we were really good, and we were not. This year, you know, I would have thought we'd be 4th or 5th in the league going into having a coach, and not having one. You know, who knows where we'll be.
Yep, that's what.
But we'll
be
there. We'll be cheering hard, and we'll be excited to kick it off. If the weather holds out, hopefully.
Yeah, it's one thing to be good on paper, but
nasty this weekend.
Oh yeah, especially Houston. I keep looking.
We've got Tor 4 Tornado Alley right here, and it's grinded up for Saturday and Sunday. So that's the way it always is. Today's 71 and perfect. Yesterday was 80 and perfect. Tomorrow's 80 and perfect. And if they played any of these 3 days, you'd have another 5,000 or 6,000 people there just walk up.
Mm-hmm.
But
I need to go.
When you have rain and stuff, it becomes an issue.
Yeah, it's been cold and somewhat snowy up here for the last couple of days.
Oh, wow. So what are you guys predicting? What do you think? I mean, I don't know what Michigan really has besides they returned a lot of their defense, which was fantastic. So
yeah, I think you're right around in the same ballpark. You know, I'd say I'd probably go 35-17, something like that.
Yeah.
You're saying Michigan's got 35?
Yeah.
I don't think they're doing that against Jaron Horton.
No.
And like we talked about, spy EJ Perry on the other side.
I think Breland's got something for him. Breland and Levi Bell.
I will tell you, I think we all think a lot of Horton here already. I mean, the interviews he's done with us and with other people and just in the city here. I mean, I think maybe this makes him more determined right now than ever.
Oh, yeah.
And he is going to have his guys will play so hard for him. I mean, that's what they did at Pittsburgh. You're talking to Boogie and them, that they are going to play hard for that guy. That is their guy, and they are going to leave everything they got out there.
They really are, and that's
like Bill was saying. People look good on paper, but there's one thing you can't see that's on paper, and that's the heart that these guys are playing with, and they're playing with a lot of it right now, especially under Jaron. He understands the culture. He's a genius when it comes to being a defensive guy. He's just
like I said, we were hoping he would. That was our consideration. Was we talked to people about, hey, he would be a great coach here. He would fit Memphis. It's a grit and grind city. It's an everyday, get up, knock down, get back up kind of city. A lot of manufacturing, a lot of FedEx people here, and they work hard every day. He fits that culture because he can talk to anybody. I mean, he really has the ability to do that. And we were hoping, but Ken was a big name, and that's what I think they wanted, was an NFL coach with a big name. Some of the Titan fans here were not real happy about that, but I think you can't really put on where these guys are right now about what has happened this week and how hard they're going to try to play to prove their new coaches successful. I know Coach Turner has a lot of support from the players. I mean, he's a
well.
He's still around.
He's giving subliminal messaging. He's saying that Memphis is going to play lights out defense against Michigan.
Well, I mean, to touch on what he was saying, I mean, the same kind of thing happened here. The way, you're describing how Coach Horton is, galvanizing the guys, even though he's not that guy. I mean, as Detroit Lions fans, Dan Campbell's kind of done the same thing. So I'm not as zealous as Loren is. I'm not going to say 35, but I was thinking like 27-17. I think it's going to be not a blowout in either way, but I do think Michigan's going to end up with it.
Yeah, that's the thing, is how much is our defense actually on the field? That makes a huge difference. I think the first half they're going to play really well, and then if the offense comes out and works and clicks and they run the ball. I mean, Ken he was a run the ball guy. They've got 3 really good running backs, and he wants to run the throw, and that's always been his kind of way of doing it. He's going to be, his line of scrimmage is going to be really good, and that's what he wants to do. But we thought the same thing last year. Our offensive line was, Case was, I liked Case as a quarterback. Obviously, he did really good in the other spots he was at. He didn't have time to even get the ball last year before he was running for his life. So hopefully that'll be shored up and there'll be some changes made. But you just can't tell. I've been on podcasts. We've talked to a lot of people across the league, and until we play a few games, no one knows we know what Birmingham has. I mean, that they have 3 starting quarterbacks somehow on their team. The rest of us are trying to find one starting quarterback. But I think if you go through a game and you play on emotion, it's only going to last so long. And then it comes down to X's and O's and schemes, and I think Horton is really great. Like I said, he's our guy. Coach Turner will be our guy, and young guys calling the offense. I have never done it before, so we'll see how that runs. And until we see it, they may be geniuses. They may be, the next offensive gurus. But until you see it, and you're under fire, and you have 10 seconds to call it, who knows what it's going to be.
Absolutely. Well, Ducky, do you got a prediction for us? I think I didn't really hear what you said earlier.
I think 22-13 is Memphis.
I'll take that all day long, Ducky. You're my guy now. You're my favorite podcaster. You're wearing the hat. You got the right, and you're right. It wouldn't shock me if we won. It wouldn't shock me if we got blown out. And it's the same way with just about everybody. Just until they get out there, a lot of these quarterbacks kind of in different stops and different teams, but until you see what the lines can do offensively and defensively, I know Big John Aiken here and Boogie are going to be really hard to him. They're going to be hard to stop, because John last there by himself was hard to stop. He didn't have a lot of help, but he has help this year, and hopefully that'll turn into something really, really great. But we'll see. I mean, I'm going to enjoy it either way. Yep. Rain, shine, sleet, or snow, we'll be out there and cheering them on.
Yep, I'm excited to see Boogie play. I'm super excited. Him, the other guy on his other side, they're going to be unstoppable.
Show the shirt, man.
Oh yeah, Boogie again.
Yeah.
But I was in
Boogie
Canton, and
recall.
I was taking photos for the Maulers in Canton and stuff like that, and I'd always get the Boogie. I'm like, "Dude, I'm trying to get a photo of you, but every photo I would get of him is just him being double teamed every single
Yeah.
play. It just
Yeah.
so
Well,
you
with
know,
John there, with John, you're not going to be able to. I mean, John has his, his limitations on, length of play, and he has to, get a breather here and there. But if they're there together on that side of the ball, I don't, you
Yep.
can't double team both of them, but
Nope.
because their linebackers now are free.
Yep.
And Horton, you know what that's just what we have to see is how all that plays out and fleshes out. I know
Yeah.
talking with Boogie, he has a chip on his shoulder the sides of Rhode Island, so he's ready to
Boulder
come
on
out
the
there
shoulder.
and show.
Older. Yeah.
Yeah, Boulder.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. I think it'll be similar to the 2023 Maulers, where the offense isn't completely all there yet, so the defense is going to be on the field a lot. They were on the field a lot in 2023. Most of these guys that are on Memphis now, so they know what it's kind of like to be on that field a lot more than often, more so than the offense. So I think as long as the offense can give them a few more minutes off the field and those guys can feel better whenever they're coming back on the field, I don't think we'll have an issue at all. It's definitely going to be a defense-oriented team, I think.
I think both teams have great defenses. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it could come down to a field goal, which I really like our field goal kicker. He's fantastic. Y'all don't have still the Jake guy's not there anymore for
No,
Michigan.
he is with the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, there you go. There's a perfect example of somebody who went from one place to another and is doing great things. And that's what this league is all about. But I think if it comes down to field goal kicking and punting, I like what we have. But again, we don't know if EJ's starting or if Troy's starting. We're not sure about any of those things. Both of them, I think, are very capable of moving the team. But they're going to have to help these other coaches along. Troy was in the program for a year, but it's a different philosophy. So both of them starting at zero, hopefully have grasped the offense enough to help with play calling as they go, because they're going to be seeing it where the coaches maybe aren't. And I know we'll deke and dunk because that's what, if it's still the same offense, which I believe it will be, it'll be shorter passes, quicker passes, running game to keep the defensive line at bay. But Michigan has a great defense, so who knows how they'll be. But I know our defense will be ready to play. Offense is just obviously where we're all not sure if we can snap a ball. So we'll see.
Yeah. There is a lot up in the air for sure, but I am excited. I mean,
Right. We still don't even know who our starting quarterback is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody in the league is kind of the same way with that. I imagine Troy may be the starter because he has the ability to run. Flip would not let him run last year. I don't really know why. He has the ability to get out there and run and take some pressure off the linemen, which you need to be doing. That's just football these days. Whether you can stay healthy doing that is another thing. But I believe both of them are very athletic and can run a little bit, and that's good. And that's kind of what we're going to probably see a lot of. Some sprint draws, some quarterback rollouts and run. That's kind of where we're going to be. But defensively, I think we'll be solid. Offensively, again, it'll be a whatever it ends up being, it'll be.
All right. Well, you guys want to just tell people where they can find you, I guess, before we get out of here?
If you want to be found.
Yeah, if you do want.
You can find the Yacht Club on Facebook, where it's the official Yacht Club page. We have a huge breakfast with the boats this week, so if anybody from Michigan's coming down, free food, a lot of stuff we're giving away. We do a huge tailgate. We'll have, I would say, last year everybody was coming to the game was there, so we'll have 300, 400, 500, 600 people at it. It's a blast. And we play our yacht club, yacht club music. We have a lot of great people from all walks of life are there. Police usually, and people talk about coming to Memphis and how, if you're from Detroit and you're going to Detroit, it's kind of the same kind of thing. There's no, the Liberty Bowl area is an enclosed area. There's no kidding in and out of it. Even the huge parking areas, there's no mischief or anything. I've never had anything stolen I've never had anything problem with anyone, but it's a huge enclosed area surrounded by trains. So there's not an area where people can come in and try to, steal your car, knock stuff off. That's not going to happen. It's a great place to see a football game. We're redoing it all right now. It's completely under construction, but it's going to be a fantastic 50,000 seat stadium with clubs and restaurants and everything you possibly could want. But it's a great place to see a football game. If you haven't been to the Liberty Bowl, there's not a bad sight line in it, whether you're sitting in the end zone or the 50-yard line. They're great places to see a football game, and it's safe for our families. I take my family every week. It is a great place to see games. So you can find us on Facebook. We have 2,500 members, probably 1,000 that are active to come to every game. So just come. If you're coming to the game, come and find us, and we'll give you a free game day towel and have a lot of fun. And you'll eat some biscuits and gravy and get some Southern cooking.
That's what I just made for dinner.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, they probably already know me, but you don't need to find me. Just say something bad about Memphis, and I'll find you.
Yeah. If it's on X, he'll find you. He has his radar on. So, but yeah, man, we're really looking forward to the game. Really looking forward to the season starting off, and we appreciate you guys taking the time out and hanging out with us and having a little bit of banter back and forth about our teams and who we're rooting for this year.
Well, I enjoyed it. I appreciate anything. Anytime you guys need somebody to talk to about the boats, we'll be happy to be here. We're just going to enjoy the games. I can't wait for it to kick off. It seems like it was, months away yesterday, but now here we are. And lots going on, lots under the bridge. But the guys will get out there. They'll play really hard. And we'll just see where we go from there.
Appreciate what you guys do here.
Yeah, thanks, Ducky.
You guys, first year. This is your guys' first year doing this, right?
Yeah. Actually, we just started in December, end of December.
It's put together pretty well for a first year thing. I've seen a lot of content creators doing this, and you guys are pretty good for your first year.
Thanks, man. We appreciate the compliments.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like we said, we appreciate you guys coming on.
Mm-hmm.
You can find Captain Bill, at the Yacht Club. Ducky, if you say anything about Memphis on X, that's where you'll find him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And of course, you can find us at if you put in My Panther Pride on any social media platform, TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook, we're there. And you can't forget YouTube. So like, share, subscribe, do all that fancy stuff. You got anything else, Jesse?
Yeah, we're only 10 subs away from giving our tickets away. So if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get these tickets out to somebody, maybe create a new fan or podcaster like what happened to Loren. So we have that going on. Also, there's only 14 spots left on the group event to the Brahmas game on April 13th. So buy them now before they sell out. But that's all I got, Loren.
All right.
I got one more thing. We are giving away this flag for the game.
Oh, nice.
You see it? We have 3x5 flags we're going to be giving away, and game day towels that have that on it. So come see us at the Yacht Club. We'll be there from 8:30 to 10:30. And then we go to the game and have a lot of fun. We'll be there after the game for a little while talking with the players and their families. So if you need anything from us, come on out and get this flag plus a game day towel.
So
Bill,
if we
don't
can't
you have?
make it, if we
Bill,
can't
don't
make
you have
it,
hats? Oh, we did it
Oh
twice.
yeah, we got we got official Showboat hats.
Yeah, I saw these online. Yep.
I can't wear my captain's hat except a game, so I just have it out. But yeah, we have captain's hats, and we raise money for St. Jude that way. We have some Yacht Club T-shirts we sell, just some different things. We give away. We have some guys, the Boatsman and the King, who are completely and totally the greatest fans ever. I mean, I'm a fan. They are super fans. And one dresses up like Elvis and gives out gold chains and TCBs and kisses the ladies and wears a scarf. The other guy looks like a football player, and they are the best. I mean, these are guys that just do it because they love coming to games, and a lot of our fans do that now. We're getting it, and we're trying to get to a European soccer, Japanese baseball type style, and we've now got the Liberty Bowl let us bring in flags and kazoos and horns, and so
They don't let you bring in your hat.
the hats will be there, every hat, and we have tons of them. But we really try to make it an event. I mean, at this level, you got to do something to make it something special and different. And we want to make it to where it's just we give away a big MVP ring to the player of the game. He looks like a Super Bowl ring we give to the players of the game. But we give away $50 gift certificate for the best signs. And it's a crazy atmosphere. I mean, we didn't have a lot of people at games last year. We had a lot more the first year, but we're trending in a good direction this year. But we're doing things to try to get people out to really just enjoy it and be crazy with it. I mean, why not? I mean, if you're going to go to do something, this
Go
isn't the
all out.
opera. So
Yeah.
just
See,
go
we
and
need
have
to
fun.
talk to these guys, get some ideas, Jesse.
Seriously,
we need to build
man.
our.
Yeah, I was
That's
about to
like
say,
the thing we're trying to do. We're really trying to build this fan base because,
Yeah.
as you know, Detroit last year, we didn't do too good with putting butts in seats and the attendance and everything like that.
Well,
But if
attendance
we
is
can
really
have
hard.
fun, like
It's
you're
one of those
talking
things with
about,
attendance that you're thinking, so much went on the first year, and I've talked to them a lot about, look, guys, you got to get this information out to people way ahead of more time than you're doing it. I would have liked to have been selling single games and packets at Christmas. That's kind of the things you do that minor league teams do in baseball here. We're the AAA for the Cardinals, and those guys do a super fantastic job about getting information out and packages and events. And like the throwback game for Birmingham's coming for the last game of the year, and it's our throwback game for the 80 boats. And it's hopefully they're going to be wearing the old boat uniforms. But I can't tell you, we post something about that, and we'll get 600-700 that people are coming back to us on things. We post something about giving away a rally towel, you get 50 people. So it's just different things we do to try to get things going. But attendance is just something you're going to have to grow at this level. And with as many spring leagues have come and gone, it's just going to have to be a growth thing. And it's about getting corporates and group rates and for us in Memphis, some of the game times just are really hard to do. 11 a.m. on a Sunday for a Southern group is really hard to do. I mean, because a lot of people go to church, and there's a lot of youth sports that happen here. Memphis is probably one of the biggest youth sports areas around the country. Every kid plays AAU basketball or plays competitive baseball. Every kid. I coached it for years. And that's something with attendance you have to and you're a pro town. We're a pro basketball town, not a pro football town. But it's just about getting the word out about coming and having fun. And like I said, this is not the opera. We're going to have megaphones. We're going to have we have the big gazoozos, and we're giving away 100 of those. It's going to be crazy the first game, loud and crazy.
Yeah, that sounds like you guys will have the home field advantage for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's hopefully we will. That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah. But yeah, we're trying. That's our goal here. Is we want to try to grow that core fan base and just having fun, and fun spreads like fire.
Yeah, our first tailgate, I think we had 20 people, and the last one last year when we did the St. Jude, we had a big check for St. Jude and all the money we gave them, and the Fox people came out there, and I think it was about 550, 600 people. So you have that growth, and it's just it's hand-to-hand combat at this level for us. Each person that will listen, if I go to the store and I'm wearing a Showboat thing, if they say something, I'm giving them tickets. I'm saying, hold on, I'll buy 100 tickets a year to give away at every game, just because once you come, it's a good experience and it's a lot of fun, and the players are very accessible. They love to sign autographs. They love to talk to kids. And you just don't get that in a lot. It's like going to a spring training baseball game. It's kind of what I reckon it to. It's really intimate and a lot closer to the fans than you usually get in NFL. NFL is very sterile. You don't ever see them again. They go to the locker room, they're done. They go to the locker room, they stay, they come back out. That's kind of where we are with this. The UFL has to grow this year over year and basically person over person.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with you there. And like you said, you give out those tickets. That's what got me hooked. Is I got the tickets to the Birmingham game
There you go.
last year. And I mean, I was already interested before I had tickets, and then I got the tickets and I took my two boys, and it hook, line, and sinker, and I'm here. Started
each
the podcast.
year we have a St. Jude kid that's been a survivor of St. Jude, which is the greatest hospital on earth. And each year we have one that comes out to a couple of tailgates when they can, if they can, depends on how it does it. And last year the kid who was a survivor was just an athlete, a little kid that was just fantastic. He was about 12 years old, and Coach Flip got a hold of it. In the last game, he brought him down the field. it was incredible. He gave him the game ball, let him call a play. Those are the type of things that really, really matter. And when you see that go on, and all those other people that were there saw it, you become fans for life on those kind of things. And that's what's important is, like, you got free tickets that somebody just gave you, and it hooked you into something that you probably didn't think was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I knew when the Showboats came back, I was going to be here doing this because I loved it so much when I was 12 years old. Is it the same? No, but it's the same enjoyable, thing to go to in the spring, because we don't have a lot that goes on during the spring here. We don't have professional baseball. The Grizzlies are usually done by about now, which with the injuries, they are done now. But and that hook is what you need, and you got it, and you pass that along to somebody else, and that's the way you create a new fan. Same way.
Absolutely.
So anybody got anything else?
No, we did a Midwest goodbye though. is what we did.
We did. Oh,
That's what that is. That's a Texas goodbye. Hold on. Let me tell you 4 more things.
Yep.
that's great.
You should just abruptly end the show now.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even know.
Yeah, everybody already left 15 minutes ago when they thought
We did the
were
Midwest. Now it's Irish time.
Oh yeah.
Just stop there.
We're in overtime, right?
Yeah.
right. But
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys again. I know we said it, but thank you guys for coming on, and good luck this weekend to the Showboats.
All right,
Yeah,
guys.
we
thank
don't need
you.
it. You guys will probably need it.
we're gonna need it. All right, Duck. I'll be sure to text you all weekend long about it.
Every time Michigan does something, did you see that? Did you see that?
Are
You've
you
seen
watching?
that, right?
You're watching, right?
Yeah. What's your excuse? I'm in a car. All right, fellas. And as always, Panther fans, remember, let's hunt.
Go Boats.